session is really designed more for race directors and event management companies. We had done some other things for certified timers. If you're a timer, we welcome you to be here also, but we're hoping that this content is a little bit more geared towards our events and people that are putting on events.
Okay, can you hear me? Yeah. Hi, everybody. If I haven't met you, I'm Shelly Harris, and this is James Harris. We're the founders of RaceJoy. We actually started RaceJoy while we were in the corporate world. James was at SunGard overseeing a team of developers, and I was at a big financial company overseeing a team of marketing people. So we brought our skill sets together and launched RaceJoy because James used to do triathlon. And we realized there was a better way for the spectator perspective to experience the race. And we actually came up with the idea like, I don't know, 15 years ago. And then, but the technology wasn't there. And then eventually we're like, oh, it's here. But then after we did that for a while, we realized, well, this costs a lot of money and it takes a lot of effort. And we decided that we weren't going to continue to spend our savings on it. So we sold RaceJoy to Run Signup, and fortunately they brought us into the fold, and we've been working with them ever since, and they've expanded our duties to be well beyond just RaceJoy. So we're doing all the race day technology products. So that's kind of a quick background of RaceJoy. So we're going to just give you an introduction to RaceJoy's key features from a participant perspective, and also features from the race organizer's perspective. So we provide a lot of tools for the race organizer to use, from managing things, from understanding who the lead runner is to the tail runner, to just overseeing the a leaderboard and so forth. But we'll go into all that. You want me to do the clicker, or is it not working? Okay, so RaceJoy is Run Signup's race day mobile app, and it is exclusively available through certified timers, and it's offering a custom interactive experience for your participants and your spectators. So you're able to offer an official branded experience for your event. So there's custom features that you're able to take advantage of. And then you can offer a tangible experience for both your virtual and on-site. And it's your opportunity to offer a consistent experience. So if you have a virtual event and an on-site, and people are choosing between, and then that's kind of your backup plan is your virtual if they can't make it to the on-site. This is your one way to offer a consistent experience. You have flexible event options, and I'll go over that in just a moment. And you're able to offer extended value to your sponsors, and we'll cover that today as well.
Yeah, I had a lady come by the demo room, really wanted to understand about like
your microphone's down.
About whether or not, I could really customize the content and all. So yeah, you should think about RaceJoy as basically being your mobile app within a mobile app. And so instead of having to pay for somebody to build an app for your event, you're basically getting an event within an event. Is kind of the way we think about it.
Without the cost. So what does RaceJoy do? It offers live tracking of a person's phone. So we're taking advantage of the device that they already carry with them. And most runners, unless they're what we call serious Steves, will carry their phone with them. And even the serious Steves will carry their phone if their family asks them to. So, it's definitely it's something. It's instead of distributing expensive equipment, you're just using the device that they already have. Your spectators are able to engage with them by tracking them and sending them cheers. And you're also able to offer a custom audio experience for them. So similar if you were, how many people did the Sweet Run this morning? Yeah, so we offered a kind of a custom geo-based kind of audio experience. And that's something that you can easily do as well. And it would be something unique for your event that not many races do.
Yeah, and I think the gentleman over here came into the demo room. He was really asking about like that audio content. Again, we limit you to like 30 seconds of MP3 kind of data that you can load. If you have something you really need to get loaded in, just send an email to info. But just get someone that's technical, that's like loves to do audio on, and the sky's the limit, right? Shelly literally just does like records the stuff, and then I go bring it all in and I do the music and the overlay and the mixing and stuff. But we have this really cool race director up in Rhode Island. She does all the road races. She just always provides these nice experiences in the historical. She just uses her Apple phone and she just records it and just loads it in, and it's just makes for a really nice experience.
Okay, so the event types is what I started to speak about. So we offer support for all the event types that are available through Run Signup's registration platform. So whether it be a regular on-site course or a challenge event where there's incremental mileage being accumulated. So maybe if there's a training program, you could use RaceJoy for that, or Race Anywhere. So that's the virtual races. So you can offer, if you're offering all these different types, and we do recommend right now offering options. So if you're offering all of these types of events, you can have your timer set them up in RaceJoy.
And we're seeing more and more people that have like your bike event. And it's this big thing that they're getting ready for, but people are putting a challenge. It's no extra cost. It's no extra work to add that challenge and just enable it. And it kind of engages them, and they're like training, and they're like, I'm seeing like how I'm getting ready for the bike event. So just enabling a challenge event and mixing that in, and it's no extra cost. It's really so simple to add in.
Would that be like a training ride at that time?
You just set up a challenge. It's called a challenge.
Yes, but it
And
would
you
be
set
like
a
that.
goal, like ride 200 miles before the event, and
Yeah.
you can set the goals and the badges. It's so simple to set up.
Yeah.
And
And
it
then
engages them before they get to your actual event.
And what's great about engaging them before the event is that you're taking advantage of that word of mouth and building the registration. Because as they're doing that, they're telling them, oh, I'm doing this for this event coming up. And then it's a great marketing
And
tool.
really, I feel personally like you could just add it for free. It's just it's so simple to add. And
Because you're not really doing, so there's, in one of the sessions we had yesterday, it showed that there was a training program that was, for $0 to all the way to $150. It really, whatever effort you put behind it, if you're just setting it up on the back end at Run Signup and you're not really, it's not being really facilitated, then
no swag.
yeah, I mean, just it's $0, but it's a way to engage with them. So we often get asked, does RaceJoy, support swimming events or, paddle boards? Yes, we do. So these are all the types of events. So basically, if there's any distance that they're achieving, then RaceJoy does support that. And I think we spoke in our last session about our couple sessions ago, how do we support the swimming events? And that's typically through an escorted kayak of some sort. So that's typically how, but all of it, whether it be ultra, trail, running, triathlon, biking, we support it.
The question comes up about triathlon all the time. Again, USATF rules. That's a tracking device. I'm not on the phone. I can stick it in and I can use it as a tracking device. It's actually in the rules that you can use the phone as a tracking device.
That was a fight that for many years we tried to struggle with.
I know we're racing, but we do multiple events. And we're talking about expanding outside of endurance events the other day. What about non-endurance events? Could we use RaceJoy for that in some way?
Absolutely. So early days, we thought about being called Event Joy, but it just wasn't as fun. So
as an example, we do a barbecue, the world's championships of barbecue. And we have about 300 judges who go out to the teams and judge. We'd love a way to track where those judges are at, because they tend to get lost.
Yeah.
And so it'd be great to be able to see on our event site, hey, judge 299 is over here.
Not a problem.
So that would be something that be really interested in with your app.
Yeah, it's really what you want to use the technology for. We also had this event that was a walking event. It was just to raise money. It was just like every day they would walk a certain thing. It's just really about GPS, and we're not on a treadmill. You've got to move the phone somehow, and you got to be tracking the phone.
Well, but we'll have a timer.
Yeah.
Not a problem. Another great question. Thank you for asking that. Someone else came up to the demo room and said, hey, I do these events and they happen in the Christmas time, and like we just don't pay for a timer. And like, yes, that's absolutely fine. You don't have to have timing services. And if your timer is not going to work with you on that, just send an email into info. We will definitely set you up with certified partners. The only reason why we use certified partners for distribution is because we have to train them. We have to teach them all this technology, and they're there to support you and understanding the technology.
Yeah.
You
So
don't have to use them for timing.
So a certified timer, yeah, we had a lot of timers that just do it remote, and maybe they aren't timing in any fashion for them, would provide it for you, and they would just provide you, a nominal fee for it,
Yep.
because it would be very little work for them to do that. But we do, a lot of races will use RaceJoy to track their staff. So they'll actually have them sign on just to track them. Yeah. So we actually had a large race, I think it was Pittsburgh Marathon, that I had a whole central, command center where they were tracking all the emergency vehicles and all the medics and everything, just to see where everybody was through RaceJoy.
Yeah,
So,
the Long Island marathon ladies, the Suffolk County ladies, they actually contract with the emergency people in that county, and they actually use RaceJoy in their actual emergency comm center and for their whole event. So it's really just there to be used as a tool, and it can be used in a lot of different ways.
sure.
Tracking with that, like are the medical services like a different color when they, a different color than the participants?
No,
Yeah.
it's up to you to set up filters. And so what we typically do, and what they typically do, is they name themselves a certain way with certain
And
name
give them a
standard.
special bib
And
number.
then you go into monitoring, and you just filter everybody with that name, and you have a certain tab, and that's all my EMS people.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
thank you.
So it's a naming standard. We talked about adding that kind of color code and stuff, but we never went that far with it.
Yeah, because then we went into COVID.
Yeah, that's actually right.
Yeah.
That's about when it happened.
Yeah. So relay events, we've done a lot of work in RaceJoy for relay events. So if you have a relay event, you definitely want to consider using RaceJoy. So not everybody has to use the app to use the relay functionality. People can manually enter in legs for their people in their team, and they're able to at a glance see how the team is doing and who's live, who's currently running for the team. So definitely want to.
And again, what we're doing here is it's a virtual baton. So think about all these different phones, right? And I'm not asking for everybody to like share phones. We're literally saying, hey, you got your own phone. Keep your own phone. You're going to run your leg. We're going to tie those phones together into what we call a team. And we're going to send out team progress. We're going to send out team stats based upon this combination of phones. How do we tie the phones together? Based upon that team identifier. And so, like Shelley said, I may have that one serious Steve that says, I'm never going to run with a phone. The captain's just over there and just you just hit exchange 2, and I can actually enter the time when you hit exchange 2. And you still get that team progress alert.
During COVID, we did a virtual relay race with runners all around the world.
Mm.
It was awesome.
That is cool.
But so with RaceJoy, would that be feasible? Because there's not one. Okay.
Yeah. So when we did COVID, we did have relay events enabled for virtual. And what we had to do was this. You basically set up a virtual leg in RaceJoy. And so everybody, and you still have team results, but it was all based on everybody completing 6.55. And so I would go out and run my 6.55, and Shelley would go run her 6.55. And then the team results at Run Signup would show that overall team result. But not using that technology that I just showed you for tracking phones and tying them together. It was each person running a certain distance. Yeah.
And then it was up to the timer to kind of manipulate the data.
No, team results on virtual is amazing. The work that we've done on the platform, you can actually, and you can do this for corporate teams. You could create a corporate virtual 5K and have everybody in your company go do it. And then you can have different teams within that, and you can compare team A to team B for a corporate virtual 5K. So that technology was built over COVID.
So the route has to be standard. Okay.
Yeah. For virtual. Yeah.
So
go ahead.
one of the questions we get is, how do you handle variable cell zones? And I know you have some of your course is not, have strong cell conditions. So We actually did a lot of development on this and that. So how we handle it is for the participant, their experience is uninterrupted because it's using GPS technology. So they'll continue to hear their progress alerts at every mile for running and walking events, and then every 5 miles for cycling events. Now for the spectator that's tracking them, the blue dot will turn gray until they re-enter a functioning cell area. And then we store up all those progress alerts that were issued during that time in the dead zone. And then they get reissued to whoever's tracking them. So they'll get all that data that they missed at that time. So that's how it works.
Yeah, and this is an event up in Alaska. It's an extreme event way up in this kind of extreme area. And they use us in that environment. And actually the conditions are actually pretty good here. But if this was completely dead zone, as Shelley said, you would not be getting blue dots in that area. You would be getting like a gray dot here, and then all of a sudden it would jump up over here when we got cell connectivity. Now, again, very important what Shelley said about the participant. The participant is carrying the phone. The phone has everything on it. It has the map. It has everything it needs to do its job. It does not need cell connectivity. They're going to get everything. They're going to be able to see themselves on the map. And if they've loaded that information, they'll actually get imagery. And we're about to release that based on caching that we've done with Google.
Is that what ride with GPS or?
We use Google. We're a Google Maps partner. So all of our mapping is Google.
So what's the advantage with Run Signup? Well, the biggest advantage is that you get a significant discount. I'm like trying to be on the video, but not in the light. You get a significant discount as Run Signup's customers. So if events that are not using Run Signup, it's typically about double the cost. And it's just that the certified timers, they get a substantial discount for Run Signup companies. So the other advantages are that we have seamless integration with registration data, and that means that your she's like, yeah, I heard about this. So your participants will find themselves in the app. They'll see that their information is there and their bib numbers, and it just makes it so much easier. It's a much nicer experience. We also have automatic integration with real-time results. So whether that be virtual or scored, as long as your timer sets it up, it will appear in the app. So it's real-time results being delivered. And then we have and to kind of elaborate a little bit more on the virtual results, what we did during the pandemic was develop the capability for the virtual time and distance to be submitted to through Run Signup to your results. So the user doesn't have to go in and enter it in. RaceJoy will automatically detect that they completed their 5K virtual, and we'll submit those results to Run Signup, and then they will appear on the website and in RaceJoy. So anything else? I think that's good. So the key participant features are GPS phone tracking, send a cheer, progress alerts, continual progress alerts, scored results, and you're experiencing your official race through the app. So this is just showing you some screens in the app. We actually, for those of you that are familiar with RaceJoy, these are actually new screens that we've recently launched. So we're redesigning it. We're incorporating the greens, and we're actually added a little bit more data and information for the participants. And this is showing you that the registration details will automatically show. And I think, yeah, that just shows what it looks like in the screen, the blue dots on the map. Oh, and the off-course alerts. Did you want me to mention that? That we actually had that today, and someone said that helped them. That so if you have an on-site race, it's very helpful to have the off-course alerts enabled, because so if they get off course, RaceJoy will tell them you may be off course, and it's definitely saved a lot of runners. And we've actually experienced that. We've seen that volunteers will accidentally take people the wrong way. And then, but if they're carrying RaceJoy, it's going to tell them, detect that they're off course.
Yeah, and again, if you're doing any kind of overnight events, really recommend that you use this technology.
So the sweet run we did today, every time I got to a corner, it said turn left, go on the
Yeah, that's
street.
up to you to add those directional cues. It doesn't happen automatically. And what we recommend is that you kind of choose the key points where you want to do that, because it's work, right? If you're going to go turn by turn, you can do that, but it's going to take you an hour or two to set all that up.
Okay, so it's not just a blanket thing where I can just say turn on
No.
directional cues at every turn. I have to go to each individual one.
Yeah.
And you put in the voiceover of however you want it, because some of them said turn left, some said cross the street, continue on Benjamin Franklin
was-
Parkway. So you're putting that in as you want it to be spoken to the runner.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
and so
was-
what we're using is what's called text-to-speech technology. So you as a event manager, you just come onto the point, you just add the point, you type the message. That's all you got to do. We'll take care of the rest.
Okay.
Yeah, so you do it in a course map, so you'll just get the pinpoint, you type it in, whatever message you want to be played, and then it'll play on the phone.
You can do both text-to-speech
is.
technology and you can load custom MP3s. So we give you both.
But
Tech-
obviously you don't want to rely on that for, to guide people along the course. They need to have the directions and so forth in other ways. So,
Signage.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And cycling events, we kind of caution against it just a little because they're going so fast and it depends on when it's coming through. So
Yeah, we have a couple really nice big bike events that use RaceJoy, and she just really focuses in on those railroad crossings and different things.
and
she
does it
puts-
well in advance.
She puts the alerts like, hey,
Yeah.
you're coming up this railroad crossing, be really aware of what you're doing, stuff like that.
Some of our bike routes go along, like we have a 35 and a 50 and a 70. So I mean, I'm just thinking about putting, hey, if you want to do the 50, go straight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
If
Yeah.
you want to do the 35, make a left.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Very
Yeah.
important.
on those key points
Yep.
to put the
Yeah.
verbal command.
Really
Okay.
That would be
Good
good.
use of the technology.
So on that case that you have 2 or 3 different cycling distances.
Yep.
When they register, and I think I know the answer already. When they register for the 50, can we have directionals just for the 50 and
That's
so
how it
that they
works.
don't get confused?
That's
with the
exactly how it
thing?
works.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as I was talking to, it's Nancy? Jenny. As I was talking to Jenny the other day at lunch, the issue that we see with cycling events more than we see, for some reason, we see it more in cycling than we see it in road races, is that people really like in the moment, like, I'm just not feeling it today. I'm going to go do this other thing. And unfortunately, the map that we've loaded for that participant is based upon the registration. So they're going to start getting off course alerts and other things.
So this just shows you what it looks like. Again, and I mentioned about the progress alerts. You don't need timing equipment on the course because you're using the phone. And then just to share, in 2021, we had over 3 million progress alerts issued. And so far we have 1.7 million progress alerts. So it's definitely heavily used. And then send a cheer is actually just as popular and just as important to the participants, because it's a way to, get that motivational lift and to engage with their friends and family. So we've had 330,000 cheers delivered so far this year. So, and that we've had a major cheer factor going on this year as we've been getting out of COVID. It's been extraordinary to see. And I think we mentioned, so how they do this is that we have an inventory of audio clips. And we just started with these campy little audio clips that people can figure out things that they want to send. And we have some little music clips and, things like Follow the Yellow Brick Road. And so they can do that, or they can do text to cheer. So they type in a message that is then played in audio format.
So early days with RaceJoy, when we introduced text to cheer, me, I'm like, I wonder what people are saying to people out there. So we started looking through it, and it's quite interesting what people will text to their loved ones.
Did you want to cover this?
So again, we've already covered this. Official time results will show immediately in RaceJoy. You don't have to do any extra work as a race director or event manager to have that happen. Just make sure that your timer is using Run Signup results, and it all happens for free. And then we talked about the virtual and the challenge. Challenge, again, remember, challenge is I'm incrementally doing activities, and all those activities are aggregating or tallying up to some overall goal, and all that will show in RaceJoy also.
But they do need to be outdoors moving. It's
Yep.
not a treadmill.
That's probably the most
Yeah.
common support question we get is like, today I want to do my treadmill. How do I get that? They have to go manually submit that on the website.
Yeah.
And again, we just have the time results. Kind of looks like this, and they can click on the person. What's really cool, and we showed that earlier, if you clicked on Austin and you had photos integration, it would show the photos all within the app, kind of stays within your event experience, keeps it within the app, and it's all integrated in the, we're not taking you out into a browser, we're keeping it within the app experience for you. And again, the virtual result submission just kind of gives them a little bit of a, feedback when they're done. And again, that all happens automatically. What's nice about this for virtual events is, like Shelly said, I don't have to go find some website link that was in an email. I'm just literally using the app. The app's auto submitting it. I'm able to see my virtual result right in the app and compare myself to my friends and so forth. I don't have to go and find, some link somewhere.
And the other feature that we have for
Yes.
just for the virtual is the ability to redo a course. So if they want to improve their time, they can redo it.
Yeah.
But that's only for virtual, not on site, of
And
course.
it's really nice. People really like that because, like I signed up for this virtual thing and, I'm going to do it 5 times and just kind of see how I can do. And again, for challenge events, that's one thing that we didn't mention. RaceJoy actually has what's called an altimeter. So we're actually able to use barometric pressure and get elevation gain. So if you're doing any kind of virtual events, it's a really nice thing to be able to see and compare. Like I ran a 5K, but I ran mine with 1,000-foot change, and you ran a 5K and you had 100-foot change, a little different, right? So it's a nice little feature that we added. We've been thinking about adding elevation gain for our standard in-person events. We haven't done that yet, but we have all the technology to do that. Right now, we only do it for the virtual.
Mhm,
Oh, I didn't set up for this.
mhm. You want to just talk to him? Okay. So the on the flip side of things, we've been talking about the participant, spectator a little bit, but from the race organizer standpoint, the types of tools that you can use is custom content, and that's where you're having that kind of branded experience. You can put your FAQ schedule and so forth. Sponsor placements, custom audio experience, which we've been talking about, a communication system, and race day monitoring. And we'll go through each one of these real quick. So this is showing the race monitoring. And James, you want to kind of cover the capabilities with that one? So-
Yeah, so again, this is all accessed through your Run Signup dashboard. So once your certified partner enables RaceJoy, you'll have a whole RaceJoy menu that kind of opens up to you. Under there will be a monitoring area, and you can use this monitoring area. The way it's set up, again, based on course, is you would set up a tab for each course. And so you would literally just have a window for each course that you have running. And that's the way we designed it. So for each course, you'll able to see the default view is we just show you all the live tracked people out there. So the default is to just show you all the blue dots. You can easily filter that down. If you want to filter it, in a different way, you can filter it by everybody that's gotten to this mile, or you can filter it in different ways. And then you have a filtered view, but the default is just basically showing all the active. So again, the other kind of key thing is this alerts panel, and we're going to be getting into that in a second as I talk about some of the more advanced features that you can do from there as we go through this. So again, this is one of our certified partners, Sean. He does a really nice job. He puts these display boards out at the race so that people can just kind of walk up and kind of check it out. This is actually a bike event. And here's all the different bike courses that are going on. So he had a tab open for each bike course, and he just threw them out to his monitors. It's really easy to set up that kind of display. So those are those off-course alerts. They'll show in an alerts panel that looks like this. And I can click on an off-course alert and be taken immediately to that person. I can send them a message, or I can just kind of see what's going on with my course. And so at a glance, I can kind of see if I have an issue with signage. Maybe a whole bunch of people are going that way. I got a problem with signage. Like today, I had an audio alert for people to go up that pedestrian bridge, but a lot of people didn't hear it and went on down the road.
You know, the alert said, continue straight and go on to this, some sort of, the bridge was named.
Yeah,
There's
pedestrian.
not a sign at that bridge that
Oh.
said the name.
Oh.
Another bridge that kept going down. the
Ah.
pedestrian trail.
Oh, that's
There
what,
were two bridges there, and
Yeah.
a lot of us went. and just
because
stayed
no
on
one knew the
trail,
name. Yeah.
Not knowing the name of that one that you named.
Ah.
RaceJoy.
That's what that was.
It could have said like slight left onto the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a.
James
little
Harris,
note.
navigation.
The line.
Sorry about that.
This is also, this is showing that you can look at a route replay to see how people
Yeah, the
actually
orange
went.
line is like, looking at a replay.
So when we came out with this, we were testing it and we saw this person who had actually gone, what happened,
So
like
what it
her,
was, all of a sudden, we always monitor the head and tail. And I had this one head and all of a sudden it was like jumped over and it was going really fast up this road and then jumped back. And so, yeah, basically she got in the car, she
She
had a
cheated.
friend that took her to a certain point and then she got back on course and yeah, she ended up winning her age group, but yeah,
yeah,
you can actually see this stuff occur.
and because they,
I don't know why she left her tracking on.
yeah, here's evidence.
The participant.
Will it give you the progress updates at the
Yeah,
next?
so in essence, you have
point.
the pace, so yes, you do
Yeah.
have
Yeah,
that.
so
yeah,
the
yeah,
pace,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
like at the time that she.
No,
jumped in
it's
the
not like
car,
a-
it
yeah, yeah.
doesn't- Or the bicycle for that matter,
It would definitely show for that next split, the
for the
pace.
split,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not at the time.
But that's what we went back and looked at the splits and we're like, how did she cut her splits in half? You know? But the SOS two, did you,
Yeah, I'm getting to.
it was, yeah, it was on that one. So,
Was it on
sorry.
this one?
Yeah.
Okay. 'Cause I thought I had a slide. Oh, there it is. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I had a whole slide dedicated to this. Maybe it's later in the presentation. This is really important. So we have this button now on the map. So anytime I'm
I
live
don't
in an
think your
event,
mic is,
it's this button here. It shows like this. I'm sure I have a slide on this, Shelley. So you can load basically as an event management company, you can decide what you think based on the theme of if it's a bike event, you're going to load very different messages like I need sag wagon, I need, I've got a flat, like you can load content for those I need assistance messages to be different for your event. The user can obviously just type a message to you. They don't have to use one of your pre-canned messages, but we invite you as event people to just kind of help them out, right? Because they're in kind of maybe a crisis moment. They just want to pick a message and send it to you. They don't want to be having to type and think. So think about those messages, make sure they're designed for your event. So they hit the button, they send you a message, and what happens is we drop a pin on your map and we give you an alert, and it shows in the panel like this SOS alert. And you can see that, and you can actually, see and click to where they are, and you can send them back a message and say, I've got your, somebody's on the way or whatever has to happen. The sag wagon is on the way or something. And then they can send you another message. So you can kind of have back and forth going on. So we call this the SOS or I need assistance.
so the custom branding and content, this is something that you can do from your dashboard. It's really easy to do. We've made it very, very easy to do. So you have your event logo that is automatically drops in from Run Signup's registration pages. And then you have linkable banner ads. So you can do sponsor ads. You can do, I actually recommend that your first banner ad be a race branded so that the page looks more official for the race and goes with your logo. And then if you have also other events that you want to cross promote and link to your registration, that's a great opportunity to do that in those banner ads. There's an event info page that you can adjust, and we pull that in from your race wizard pages. So it's automatically populated with your information, but you can go and add it and put, your sponsor logos or what have you, or any kind of information you want to share. And then there's schedule of events. That's something, I don't see a lot of races take advantage of that. But people want to know when the awards are and, the expo hours and things like that. So I would definitely use that tool in FAQ, anything that, you think that people need to know. look at it as a way to kind of alleviate your support staff that people are calling in and asking questions or emailing. Just, help your participants self-serve. And then there's a course map that's customizable that you can, for defined courses, obviously, but you can actually add in different like icons and so forth for local sponsors or things around the area that you want to highlight. And then we have official race news alerts, and I'll cover that.
So again, on the course map customization, the sky's the limit here. Like the Philadelphia Marathon, literally they go in and every single mile marker is a sponsor. You click on it, it shows AARP with the whole link and a graphic and everything. And it's very, very professional maps and stuff that you build. So you can really kind of go crazy with the maps and customize them. As Shelley said, definitely popping in those points of interest, like where's the expo, and adding those extra markers into the map is a very popular thing to do.
Yeah, so some of them will have a sponsor like dedicated to certain mile markers. So, and they'll charge them for that.
Yeah, they charge Lexus for 3 miles.
So I think I covered in progress alert recognition. So that's another one that's, if you have an important sponsor, you can change the progress alert that people hear, or not that they read, not what they hear, but what they read, and to say it's being brought to you by Starbucks. So when you consider we had 330,000 progress alerts go out, that's a lot of exposure for, especially if you have a longer distance. So if you have an important sponsor, that's something valuable that you can offer to them, that you're going to adjust it. This is all you can adjust on the back end. It's so easy to do. You can just, we made it very easy to do, and you can just change what we have. We have automate kind of by default information. So,
no, currently the in-app notifications, the technology has come. You could probably have seen how these apps are starting to do a lot with those push notifications, but we don't have that yet, but that's a really good thing. But what Shelley was just saying about the audio split alerts, you can customize and put in a little name on there. So in the configuration, you go in there, you can actually say, we call it the spoken name for that alert. And so you could call it Lexus Mile 1, and you can give a sponsor recognition on the audio too.
Yeah. And you can also, similar to what we did at the Sweet Run this morning, you can adjust it that to showcase a sponsor. However, we do require that it's not straight advertising, so that, because you don't want to get participants mad, and we don't want them mad at the app. But you can do things like if they're offering water, and let them know that there's water being provided by Dasani ahead, or ice, and you can do a fun ice baby and, music, and then talk about the sponsor or what have you. So there's a lot of creative ways. And if they're providing beer at the finish line or something at the finish line, that's a great way to showcase the sponsor, but also give value to the participant and, give them something to look forward to.
And so the general rule of thumb is what we always train is think of you as a participant and what you're hearing. And yeah, we had an event. They just literally put in straight advertising.
And it sounded very professional.
But it was just like, I'm listening to commercials, and we got hammered in the
Yeah.
app store afterwards by users. Like they just like, what is this app? It's just nothing but advertisement. So just again, think about yourself out on the course and just find the right mix.
Yeah. And we do monitor those. And if we see them, we just pull them. So, because we can't have advertising. So this is just showing you some examples. We're dropping in logos, Walmart. This, you probably can't see it, but this is the progress alert and says being provided by Starbucks. And again, when they go back and read, there are progress alerts which they can at any time. And then Twitter, which we actually had people use Twitter to, communicate their progress. Today, you can add in a sponsor there as well. And also the banner ads on the
The tweets, they're just automatically sent out when you hit like mile 6. It just shoots off through your Twitter.
The person had to go in and authorize that they would allow us to post to their tweet, but yes, that's how it works.
And we used to do Facebook, but then they stopped.
Yeah, Facebook shut us down.
So this, we've been talking about this, but we have seen some, like Kentucky Derby Festival does a really great job with theirs. Well, we help them with that, but it is, they make use of, horse sounds and things like that. So
the Colfax Marathon out in Denver, they really do a really nice job. But one of the ones I love is They have, everybody runs through the fire station. I think it's around mile 9. They literally run right through the miles. And she always puts this thing about like all the, handsome firefighters are coming up to get ready. She's really funny.
So I think we talked about this. I think we covered most everything, if you have a course that's historical, and James mentioned that, that's a great opportunity to point out things on the right and the left. And like Space Coast Marathon, they had like Darth Vader sounds and stuff, and just different inspirational things that kind of go with their event. So just taking it to the next level and adding an audio experience versus just the visual and the physical. And then the communications tool. So what's great about RaceJoy is the people that are in the app are engaged, and they're already engaged with you. So if you have something important you want to get out on to people on the course or to your participants, this is the way to do it, and you can do it very easily and quickly. We've actually had a number of events have to close down their course due to lightning, thunder, storms coming or what have you, flooding. And they used RaceJoy to communicate that the course was closing. And then that helped their friends and family help people get them off course as well too. So we actually had a race director, it was Donna Marathon. They said that that the people on the course knew about it being closed because of RaceJoy before the police did. So so it was very helpful. And then also Vermont Marathon had it close. They were very pleased with how much it helped them to facilitate the closing.
And on this front, again, you can kind of set up all the stuff in your dashboard. We call it the news area. If you have an emergency plan that you've worked out, you can pre-set up that emergency plan and have that all scheduled. Just put it in draft mode. And then you're not thinking, all you're doing is you're just going into mode and you're just sending out the alerts.
Or you have someone that.
So a lot of events will actually have already plans in place, and they just already put the content in and are ready to go.
Yeah, the larger events will put in contingency messages, and then they'll have like, an intern or someone or a staff assigned to sending out news alerts. So you can do official news alerts that's sent out. You can important race information. We used it to send out information about the race this morning to tell you about, I'm not sure just how to use the app and things like that. And to come to the awards ceremony. So you can use it in that regard. But then there's the other ability to send out, and we call that official news because you could drop in logos and video and so forth. But you also are able to, as James has been sharing examples along the way, is send direct audio messages to either individual participants or to like all of the 5Ks or all the half marathoners that are out on the course. So we had a situation with the race that there was a drunk man with a shotgun driving around. So they needed, and it was a night race. So they needed to let everybody know to be, careful. And then there was a dog, that was aggressive on the course, and they needed to let someone know. So, or let everybody know. So it's a good way to, think about it as a communications tool.
I have a question. So RaceJoy is available exclusively through timers. And all these communication things seem like they're very like on the spot. Like I imagine that's an event coordinator, event director responsibility. So how much, like whose role is what to push out those messages, and how does that work?
The way we like to think of it is, and we like to use the word certified partner because
a lot of times they're not timing.
They're not timing. Right? But anyways, their job is to get it enabled for you and to help you know what's possible, but really it's a handoff. And then now it becomes your event and you're deciding how to use the tools. But like, instead of us having to train every single different event, they do 80, 100 events a year. They know the stuff like so well. And also they're already kind of regionalized and they're kind of understanding like your event. Whereas we'd have to learn all about like your particular event. And so it just makes for that transfer of knowledge to go a lot better. But really the handoff is, it's your event. It's your dashboard. You're doing everything.
Yeah.
If we want to load the University of Colorado fight song at the start,
Yep.
and that's something that we would record and then we could put it on the app ourselves.
Yeah. And some timers will help with the audio experience. So it's really working with them and deciding, So we have all these how-to videos so you can do it yourself, but all of this, we have how-to things that,
Yeah,
So you
and,
could do it.
and this is
Yeah.
really the key point. It's like aptitude in a way. Like if you feel like, oh, can't quite do it, they can do it for you. So it's like, it's just a question of like who.
but you may not like, if you really have a preferred way of doing,
Uh-huh.
you probably end up wanting to do it your way,
Mhm. Another question is, with the sponsor banners,
Mhm.
do the spectators see that too?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the sponsor banners, can that have a link to
Yep.
the sponsor?
Absolutely. And donation buttons and all kinds of stuff. Like, I mean, go
Fundraising.
crazy with it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And also when you talk to your sponsors, you think about you're expanding the reach beyond the participant because you're reaching those spectators, not just those on site, but those that are remote and around the world. Because we'll look at the Google Analytics and the maps are blowing up all over the world where we'll see all the dots of everybody's using RaceJoy to track people. So it's not confined to that.
And
just
think about that
participants.
fact that if it's like your bike event, I mean, they're out for hours. So you have a captive spectator audience for those amount of hours. They're looking at that map for that time. So you definitely want to think about how you engage with them.
I think we're at time.
Is there any additional cost to
Yeah,
the
that's it.
participants for this?
Nope.
Nope.
Zero. Free app.
I
And
think
for the
that-
race director, just the initial setup, the associated.
It's the negotiation of you and that certified partner.
Yeah. But it's very affordable. It's very affordable. It depends on the complexity of the race. So I will say that. So, because if you have a really long ultra, that's a lot of maps. It's a lot of monitoring. It's a lot of effort on their part. So, our pricing for that used to be, I think, $1,500. But the standard price is around $750. It really depends. Like the virtuals could be less than that, $350, $550, it depends on it. So,
And again, if they're using Run Signup and they're already doing other services, a lot of timers are really discounting and bundling it with you. It's
Yeah.
just a negotiation.
but
So-
it's affordable. It's not.
If you didn't do the sweet run this morning, we always have a live demo. And if you want to expose this to other people back home, just go into RaceJoy, look for RaceJoy Rocks. You can do a virtual 5K. You can do a challenge at any time. It's always out there. And you can if you have somebody that you want to sell this to, also another company that you're working with, this is our demo.
Yeah, and you want to register though for it on Run Signup site so that you'll get a bib number and so you can get your results. So it's free, obviously. So great. And make sure you get your watch or try to get
Yeah,
it.
make sure
See the
last
demo.
chance, make sure you got that token in the demo room so
Yeah.
that you can win a watch.
Yeah, so all of you here, actually, we should have brought the roll. If you stop by and you let them know that you
Yeah,
came to the
absolutely.
session,
Yeah.
you don't have to see a demo, just tell them that you need to put in for the raffle because you came to the meeting and we'll let them know. So I think we ran out of time. So if you have questions, feel free to see us in the demo room.
Thank you.
Thank you.